Hello, hello, hello. I've no idea why I did that. But you know what? Sometimes you just got to do it. What we're going to do today, we're going to look at a couple of chords, a couple of bits of stuff, and the easy way and the not so easy way of changing chords. Getting our fingers around the fretboard a little bit easier than others. Same thing, done differently. First thing we're going to look at is a changing chord from A major to E major, and I'm going to make it that easy for you. Okay, so if you don't sort of play these chords like this, kind of slightly, a little bit more advanced, but not much, we're going to use A, we're going to use E, and I want to show you how easy it is just to get that simple change. So, the A major chord, we're using fingers 4, 3, and 2. Those three, little finger, ring finger, and second finger. Now, a lot of people play an A chord, we're using fingers 1, 2, and 3. Let me show you. I don't, and it kind of makes sense. Well, you know what? Why don't do that? When I've explained it, you might go, why didn't I think of that? Because a lot of people play the way that they've been taught. I want to go from A to E. A major. Lovely strumming. Now I'm going to go to E. But it doesn't look like my fingers are moving. Now I'm going to go back to A. Now I'm changing very quickly between the two. I can get some real speed up changing those chords because I am using the right fingers. So let's go back to where we started. I think it was somewhere near the end. Or was that near the start? It was in the middle. I don't know. Little finger for the A chord, string 2, fret 2. Next finger, your ring finger, is on string 3, fret 2, and your second finger is on string 4, fret 2. That's a little bit of a squeeze into one fret, but it's a lovely chord. Strum from string number 5. That's called your root note. The root note is the bass note of the chord. So string 5 is the A string. That's it. Dong. Or the dong string. Dong. And that's where we strum from. Now let's make changing from A to E major really simple. We've got our index finger free and it's saying pick me, pick me. What we're going to do is we're going to put finger, if I can show you, finger 1 is going to go on string 3. It's going to stay on string 3 even when you're playing the A. Because if I put it down and take it off, it doesn't make any difference. Your sound's coming from this chord here and here. So whatever you do behind it, it doesn't matter. It doesn't make any difference. So it's down, A, then we're going to lift our little finger up and we're going to move these two fingers up one string towards the ceiling. Over they go. And that is your E major shape, string 3, fret 1. Then your second finger on string 5, fret 2, and your third finger on string 4, fret 2. And you strum all 6 strings. Why do I strum all 6 strings? Because string 6 is the bass note of E. It's the E string. Then, all we do, again, I keep pushing the guitar close up to the screen so I can see what I'm doing. I'm going to drop those 2 fingers down again and put my little finger down for A, and that finger can stay there. It doesn't have to move. Back to A. Little finger off and back to E. Now, doing it that way You can even write a song about it. This is called the A to E song. A, then an E, then an A, then an E. A, then an E, then an A, then an E, then an A. That's the A to E song. I just wrote it now, actually. Could be a hit. I could be worth millions. So if we then go to the way that I don't teach A like this, and this is the reason why. I always have a backup plan for when somebody says, yeah, but why? Because then I can explain to them why. A lot of people play it like this because it's easier. String finger 1, string 4 fret 2, finger 2, string 3 fret 2, and finger 3, string 2. So we're not using our little finger before. Not using our little finger before. We're not using our little finger like we did before. Now, first of all, the first problem you'll encounter is that it's a tighter squeeze because your fingers are bigger. It's like that old nursery rhyme, there was 3 in the bed and the little one said, and then it falls out of the fret. So that's your first problem, is squeezing everything in there. And the next problem is when you go to E, it's your A. When you go to E, you have to break everything down and rebuild it. That's how it makes going to that chord. My accuracy is not very good at all when I'm going to the swapping between the chords. So if you already play A major like that, yeah, hey, I'm not telling you what to do. It's up to you. You play how you like. You're the boss. But I can guarantee you 150 million% and a little bit that way is better and easier. Also, I'm going to show you now how we're going to go to the D chord, because the D chord is also a great chord to go with A. Hey, 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 oh, hey, hey. Right. Got our index free again. Yeah, it's there. What it's going to do, it's going to still stay on string 3. It goes to E. So it's still, but when we go to D, it does this. Shape comes off, finger slides up, and then we build the D shape around it. So that's the D. And your root note string 4, it's the one I just missed 3 times when I strummed it like that. It's that one. But why is that the root note? It's because it's the string D. It's its natural name. It is the D string. So it's the bass note of D chord, the D chord, the D major chord, or the D minor chord. Yeah. Or the D anything chord, actually. It could be D diminished, D augmentative, sorry. The root note D. So what did I do? I played my A. You can hear it. I've not got a little mouse down here that I've got my foot on. It's my string. It's the finger just sort of squeaking up and down the string as it slides up and then slides back. Right? So keeping that on the fretboard all the time really works. And suddenly those 3 chords, A, D, slide it back, and E. Sound great. Sound great. And they're easy. Why did I start playing guitar? Well, first of all, I didn't want a proper job. Got to be said. But the main reason was I was watching the telly, and I was watching somebody playing guitar on the telly, and they weren't actually stood on my telly playing guitar. They were on the television screen. And I thought, they're not doing anything. They're not moving. They're not moving the fingers. So guitaring's got to be really easy. That was the instrument I made my mind up that I was going to go for. So the guy who I was watching, was doing the chords like that. And it's playing it. I can't remember what the song was, no idea. But I do remember watching it thinking, blimey, that's really easy. Obviously, the guy had to work really hard at it. But it looked easy because he was using the right fingers. So fingers 2, 3, and 4. I would bet probably £1,000. £1,000? No, $1 million that the majority of you play A like that with fingers 1, 2, and 3. And it has to be said, a lot of teachers teach it that way because they find it easy. But when it comes to changing the chord, you have to break the whole thing down and rebuild it. It's kind of tough that way. Use 2, 3, and 4. Steady, G. And then slide your finger up to the D. Okay. So as before, this is a song, very special song, very close to my heart. It's called the A to D to A to E song. So it's A to D, then A to E, then A. It's so easy to D because I got my finger down and just slide it up, slide it back, put the A down, and then jump over to E, and finish it on moving everything over to A. That's a song called A to D to A to E. So there you go. That's the first bit of this incredible lesson. Swapping between A, D, and E, and making it really simple to do so. Yeah, and I know what you're all thinking as well. You're all thinking, has he got his light on or his light off? I know you're thinking. I know. I can feel your thoughts burning into my very soul. Well, the answer is it's on. Look at this. It's off. It's back on again. So if it's all a bit glary, I've not set it up properly today. Right, but I've got a lot of aeroplanes coming over my house. I think that they think it's the landing strip of the runway. Right, we're going to do something a little bit different. May have done this before, you may not. And it's something called a harmonic, used in all sorts of guitar. And I was going to do some more chord changes, but A, D, and E is fine for a start. You know, start using those chords. Harmonic. What's a harmonic? Well, this type of harmonic is a really nice thing to learn to do. I'm going to go up to fret number 12. If you've got a guitar like this, not exactly like this, but you've got a guitar, my light keeps reflecting, doesn't it, on the body of the guitar, if it's not blinding me. If you've got sort of a guitar that gets as far as the 12th fret, they should all go pretty much that far. This little cutaway makes life a lot easier for you if you're going up here as well. What I want to do this thing called harmonic. So have a listen first. Harmonic. We don't push the string onto the fretboard, we just touch it with our finger. So somebody once explained to me why harmonics work, because they work at some frets and don't work at others. And this guy got his marker pen out, went over to the whiteboard, it was in school, and I sat there for about 10 minutes going, because I've not got a clue what he was talking about. He knew what it was about because he's a genius. I didn't, and I still can't remember. So we just say they work at some frets and they don't work at others. But a brilliant fret is fret 12. So fret 12, and we go on the fret bar between 12 and 13. So that's fret 12. But we move our finger over the fret bar of the frets of 12 and 13. We're kind of in a no man's land. And we don't push the string down because you'll get this. That's an actual note. We just touch it with our finger, and as soon as we pick with our plectrum or pick upward with the finger, doesn't matter, we just touch the string. It's not pushing anything down. And as soon as we pick, we take our finger away. There we go. Harmonic. And we can, a really good practice for you is this. Do string number 1, then number 2, then number 3, then number 2, then number 1. And see how many times you can get that going. You might not get it straight away, but when you do start getting them on a regular basis, it's brilliant. And it's dead easy to sort of get into the habit of using them. Harmonics. So what you could do is something like this. Oh, I know what you're thinking. Can I go across all the strings? Yes. Yes, you can. There you go. So it's from 6 to 1. So if I was just sort of, I'm playing string 6. So coffee, 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 tea. Coffee, tea, 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 tea. And that harmonic is string 1, string 2, string 1. So I'm kind of just rolling my finger over and I'm making sure, if you can see, I'm making what I call the pencil tunnel. The pencil tunnel is your hand position so you can get your finger down through the tunnel, get pencil through the tunnel, and that means that you're not going to touch any other strings whilst you're playing. That's the perfect sort of playing position. Okay? So if you do your harmonic sort of flat fingered, then you'll stop number 1 from ringing. So try and use the pen, make the pencil tunnel, yeah, and that will work a treat. Do that when you're playing as well, when you're pushing the strings down. So I went coffee, 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 tea, 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 coffee, 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 tea, 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 tea. I don't know why I keep wanting a drink. Can't think why. Fancy coffee in it or a tea. Either will do. I don't know why I want one. Anyway, right, so then you could do this. Move up to string 1 fret 6, coffee, 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 tea, and do number 3 and number 4. And back to open. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now that's quite tough because you've got to leave that and jump. So what you could do if you wanted is just play string number 3. String number 3 played open is the same as string 6 pushed down, but it's what's called a different octave. And a little bit out of tune. So they're both G's. Harmonics. If you get really good at it and you go, you know what, harmonics are for me, man, then you can also do them at fret 7 and fret 5. Fret 5, they're a little trickier. But always use the fret bar between 5 and 6, so you don't push the string down again. If you push the string down, it won't work. It's not a harmonic. And then fret 7, a little bit easier. If you get really, really good at it, you can do things like this. And this sounds great. You're kind of making a tune. Making a tune out of harmonics. And I just made that up on strings 1, 2, and 3. I'm just mucking about. So there you go. That is sort of harmonics. That's what the. Oh, if you were looking at the music, it would be. If you're looking at tablature where the numbers or the dot, it would have a little diamond around it. That means harmonic. So you might have, say, string 1 fret 12, round a diamond. So that doesn't mean you do that. It means you do that. Okay. So look out for those diamonds if you're following the music or the tablature. That's where the harmonic is. Happy harmonicking. And don't get muddled up and ask your grown-ups for the wrong thing, because they'll come home with a harmonica for you. Happy rocking. Ta-da! So long.